Hello, today we're going to talk about the application of positive psychology to work environments. I'd like to ask you to think about a boss that you've had in the past, or maybe even at this time, uh, whom you would consider to be a bad boss. What is it about that person that would bring you to that conclusion that they are a bad boss? And now I'd like to ask you to think about a boss that you have had, maybe have at this time, whom you would consider to be a good boss. And what is it about that individual that would bring you to the conclusion that they are a good boss? I would venture to guess that when you think about the qualities in a good boss, it will take you in the direction of several of the things we have talked about over the course of our time together in positive psychology, that some of the concepts in positive psychology would probably help to characterize various aspects of your boss's personality, behavior, and performance in their role as a boss. I know that we have some people in our class who are already bosses, who are in supervisory positions and have considerable responsibility in their jobs of a supervisory nature. I hope that when you think about your role as a supervisor, that you will appreciate ways in which you go about doing your work that involves embracing some of the concepts of positive psychology we've been learning about together. One of the things that we have the opportunity to reflect on in our reading is, how is work beneficial to us? And we come to appreciate that there are many benefits of work, not just making an income, but work provides us, or can provide us, with a sense of purpose and meaning. It can be a source of happiness and satisfaction. It can provide an opportunity for positive engagement and involvement with others. And there are other benefits of gainful employment that we have the opportunity to learn about. So a question that has been posed in the positive psychology literature is this: is it primarily the case that work makes us happy, or that happy people make better workers? And when we explore the research of Bem and Lyubomirsky in our reading, we come to appreciate that these researchers concluded that happiness is a precursor to career success, that happy people are often regarded as stronger performers by others in the workplace, and in an interview situation for a job, they are more likely to receive a second interview. We're getting back to good bosses. We have the opportunity to learn in our reading also about some of the characteristics of the very best bosses. And I hope that if you are already a boss, or if you work for a boss, and lots of times we have both. We are bosses and we also work for bosses. But if you're in a supervisory role in your work, I hope that you'll think about the list of characteristics of the very best bosses that we have the opportunity to learn about. and how you can embrace these qualities. Here are just a few. The very best bosses are genuine and authentic in their interactions with everyone. They're ethical, and they demonstrate moral values in their interactions with people. They're honest, and they model integrity. They find employee talents and strengths, and they build on them. In our reading, we run across a quote that I really appreciate. I'm paraphrasing it right now. But the basic idea is that it's a lot easier to draw out of people what's already there than to put into them what is not. And unfortunately, a lot of the assessments that go on in work situations have to do more with telling people what's wrong and how to fix it rather than what's right and how to build on it. So if you are a boss, do you think about this? Do you think about what are the unique strengths of each of the workers for whom I have supervisory responsibility for? And how can I appreciate and build on those strengths in my relationships with my supervisees at work? Effective bosses, they trust their employees and they facilitate their employees' trusts in them. And they encourage people to have diverse views, and they're able to take feedback themselves without getting defensive. The best bosses also set high but reasonable standards for their employees and for themselves. They have an appreciation for diversity and respect for all people. And they're able to be clear with their employees about goals, responsibilities. They're effective in providing feedback about how their employees are doing in a way that's constructive and uplifting. Now, if you're not already a boss, one day you probably will be. So giving some thought to how to be effective in the role of a boss and showing appreciation to your own bosses can really make a difference in the work environment. So Clifton has applied his Strengths Finder in the work environment, just like it's been applied in educational settings. Companies have asked their employees to take the Clifton Strengths Finder, and then they have helped their employees to look at how they can integrate their strengths into their work in ways that can help them to be more fulfilled and effective in their work. We learned of one study that was done at a Toyota parts factory in California, where the employees took the Clifton Strengths Finder and incorporated the results into their work activities, and there was a 6% increase in productivity at that company after they implemented the Clifton Strengths Finder. Another interesting topic that we learn about is Luthan's 4 types of capital. When we think of capital in the work world, we tend to think of more physical capital, the building, the plant, the financial resources of a company, and things like that. But Luthan broadens our understanding of capital to include a lot more than just traditional economic capital, and to even include positive psychological capital. So let's go over his 4 types of capital briefly. First is traditional capital, the one we've already mentioned, which is basically what you have. Financial, tangible assets. And then there is human capital. And it is a kind of capital that we really need to cherish. And that's the people. It's what you know, your experience, your education, skills, knowledge, ideas, human capital. His third kind of capital is social capital. And this is who you know. Relationships, networks of contacts, friends. This is all part of social capital. And then finally, there's positive psychological capital, or who you are. And positive psychological capital includes confidence, hope, optimism, resiliency that exists within a work environment. All of these words are familiar to us because we have studied them already. So this gives us some things to think about how positive psychology is relevant to a work environment. Thank you.